Unhappy? I guess it's because I'm a witch.
I've met a couple of people who profess to practice black magic. There's one who works in a bank. I'm not going to tell you which one. But you wouldn't be able to tell them. They don't wear mysterious clothing and put hexes on people that walk in the door.
Maybe not.
And
but witches are surfacing everywhere, playing parts once punishable by death. They're into everything, from black masses to separating spirit and body in astral projection.
Something very unusual happened to me one time, and it's happened twice. I was lying there, and all of a sudden, I was sitting up on the ceiling, against the ceiling, looking down at my body below. And it's the funniest feeling, because all of a sudden you realize that you're not down there. It's just a body.
Ancient, occult, pre-Christian religion of witchcraft.
The occult, which is the hidden, the unknown, has been with us since the cave. Most of us don't believe in any of it, but there have been some celebrated exceptions. Sigmund Freud wanted to study it more. The Canadian Prime Minister Mackenzie King and Queen Wilhelmina of the Netherlands were true believers. Some scientists have said the discovery of DNA molecules and how matter is programmed suggests undefined intelligence in cosmic radiations. Author-philosopher Colin Wilson believes that one day man will discover a sixth sense, an X factor that will pull everything together. We'll all understand. Meanwhile, candles are big in new wave occultism, and so are the true believers, the pros and the amateurs. 300 years ago, you didn't go to an analyst, you went to see your neighborhood witch. One medium who sees her brand of white magic as a force for good now and in the future. Author and witch, Sybil Leek.
Every century, every generation has always needed a shoulder to cry upon. The witches of the world have been the psychologists, the healers, the doctors, the midwives, and very often the neighboring good friend who could do just a little more for a person than serve tea and sympathy.
Witches are going public, and there's every reason. Their promoters often get $50 an hour. They get more like $50 a week, working everything from shopping center promotions to handcrafted love spells. Witch Brujelia, almost 18.
The spell is called the dumb ceremony. It's to bring the person to by the next morning, the day you do it. You take an egg and you break it in the glass, and you swallow the yolk and leave the albumin. Then you take the shell and you place it in a plate and spoon the salt into each side of the shell, and the person will come to you.
The traffic is heavy, at $15 a spell.
I came to her because I have a boyfriend who lies to me, and I care for him. I'd like him to come see me. He tells me that he's coming, and he never shows up. I know that he'll come.
I first found out I was a witch when I was 14. I put a curse on someone who had hit me in my eye, and I wound him up in the hospital with an eye operation. It's a long story to go into, but it was too accurate to be a coincidence.
Of course, the young are interested in witchcraft. And I think this is a very, very healthy thing in today's age, because we have very special people born today in the young people. I call them the Pluto people. They're They have inquiring minds, they're seekers, and they're not hung up on the inhibitions that their parents and grandparents had. They're aware of psychic forces and psychic energy and occultism, but they're not just going to accept it. They want to know. They're probing all the time.
There's already the back room for selling you the right medium, with consultants and clearinghouses to help you decide everything down to what kind of chart or spell you want. In New York at Psychic Dimensions, promoter Bill Danielle.
I don't think you understand what a psychic progress chart means. I think you're telling me now what a graphology analysis is, and graphology is handwriting, and I'm talking of a psychic progress chart where a psychic works with an astrologer and progresses a chart for the next 12 months. You see, this is where everyone makes the mistake. They don't understand the proper science or the proper occult science to use in order to be helped. And I also should do, by all rights, a psychic progress chart on you. Because then we'll know from that situation, we'll know both people, we can have a comparative chart done. We started about a year and a half ago, almost a year and a half ago. And we had about 5 or maybe 6 occultists, and we had a lot of people who wanted to see the experts and meet them. We now have about 3,500 to 4,000 members. This is a brand new thing. The occult offers a hope and a promise. It's a substitute for religion.
Investigators have never been able to find any measurable scientific evidence of the supernatural. One opponent who thinks they never will, author of the book Debunking the Occult, Professor Owen Ratcliffe.
There is the factor of young people, especially, looking for something new and exciting, reacting against their parents' general indifference to religion. So they've always had to find the more freakish kinds of religious beliefs. And certainly witchcraft and the general occult, for many kids, fits into this category. But then there are the pros, people who make a living out of it, the people who are on the television talk shows all the time, the precogs who supposedly read the future, the psychics and so forth. There's a woman that's making a concert tour playing music that she says was given to her by Franz Liszt, playing it rather badly too. In any event, these people are generally fall into a category which I suppose one cannot avoid the word fraud.
There's a lot of phonies running around, which of course we try to weed out from the real people, the people who really believe and who really follow the occult.
But that doesn't stop Danielle from believing that a helicopter drop can be as spiritual as any other trip.
They're going to pick you up by helicopter. They're flying you out to Smithtown.
Again?
Again. And then Wednesday, you're going to be up in Huntington.
Oh.
So don't make any plans for Tuesdays and Wednesdays. But I'll tell you, that's going to be great, because Saturday, you're all set. You meet at the heliport on 30th Street.
Right.
I see the number 3, and it's a large 3. It's 3 years.
Tarot cards from the Middle Ages are supposed to unlock the secrets of the subconscious. More often, the cards only reveal, after a little fumbling, the theatrical riffs of a talented dealer.
I want you to touch these cards with your left hand 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Be it pleasure, pain, joy, or sorrow, show her today what will be tomorrow. With your left hand, cut the card once into my... Thank you. This is the past, this is the present, and this is the future.
At the moment, I'm thinking of leaving school. I attend college. I am my 2nd year, and I have a strong feeling to leave it. I like to write, and I would like to know if it would be a good idea to leave school and just concentrate myself on writing whatever I feel like writing about.
You are the type of person who cannot take other people's advice, not even mine. I see you admit it. But it can only add to more of your confusion. There is also a question about love, love, love.
One card not often turned up, the Ten of Swords. One side of it spells total disaster. It's just not the kind of thing you hand to a paying customer. The young are sufficiently turned on by witchcraft that there are colleges offering it as a special interest course, but not for credit. Group leader, Frank Thayer.
Well, we're going to go from the heights of white magic into what we consider the depths of black magic, Satanism, and something that's very much with us today. And we know that people do practice what we might call the Black Mass.
In nomine Dei nostri Satanas Luciferi excelsi. In the name of Satan, the ruler of the earth, the king of the world, I command the forces of darkness to bestow their infernal power upon me. Open wide the gates of hell and come forth from the abyss to greet me as your sister and friend. Grant me the indulgences of which I speak. I have taken thy name as a part of myself. I live as the beasts of the field, rejoicing in the fleshly life. I favor the just and curse the rotten. By all the gods of the pit, I command that these things of which I speak shall come to pass. I raise the chalice of ecstasy and partake of the elixir of life.
Their children know why they have to be quiet. Mommy's playing witch again.
First thing they think of when you say Satanist is, ha, devil worshiper, blood sacrifices, and sex orgies, you know. It just isn't so. We don't worship Satan or God. We don't believe in Satan or God. Satan is a symbol, a force, if you will. The reason we use Satan is because we are so totally the opposite of most of your conventional religions of today. But he's only a symbol. There's no being with a horns and a tail, you know. That's a myth, and it's a Christian concept.
I bid you give me the sign of the horns. Shemham Farash.
Shemham Farash.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan.
So it is done.
This suburban mother is high priestess of a New Jersey grotto, branch of the First Church of Satan, Patricia Wise.
I had read the Satanic Bible, which was written by Anton LaVey, who was our founder and high priest. And here were people whose ideas were compatible with my own. They seemed to know how I thought and felt about many things.
But black magic really is a very difficult thing to pin down.
So is any real evidence of the occult. But that hasn't stopped this from being one of the highest-rated student programs around.
Why did you take this course in occult science? What do you think of occult science?
Well, I started attending these classes because I have been interested in occult science, and I've had a few occurrences with ESP which attracted me to this, and I just wanted to find out more about occult science.
I went down and got a set of cards, I suppose more for a lark than anything else, because I thought, oh, this would be fun to do, and nothing's going to come out of it anyway. And I started reading these cards, of course, pawing through a book, because I don't know the meaning of the cards. And the most, I don't know, odd thing happened. What I'm reading is starting to happen. You read them, and I find everything is going into them, and what's coming out of them is becoming almost frightening. The cards, I don't want them to take over, and I find I can't put them down.
It's frightening. People don't want to believe in it, but they want to know more about it. And this is one reason why I came to take this course, is because I'm afraid of it, but I want to know more about it.
I felt that there was too much to it not to believe.
I personally can't get too involved in witchcraft. It's just too close to Catholicism, frankly, which has never done much for me.
The reason I feel that witchcraft is a valid religion is because often when one person feels they can communicate another with ESP, it can be a hit and miss thing, but it often does happen. And when you get a group or a coven, we'll say of 13 people, and they're all projecting together the electromagnetic force within, then it becomes a science, and it becomes directed in the direction where they wish to project it. And it isn't a hit and miss sort of thing. It actually is more effective, and it can become a very effective weapon when it is done that way.
Mick Jagger, where are you?
If you're going to believe in satanic majesty, you might just conjure up the Rolling Stone who wrote Sympathy for the Devil.
My girlfriend and I were working the Ouija board, and the Ouija board said that Mick Jagger would come to me that night in a form that I wouldn't recognize.
And he did that night?
Yes, he had come that night. He'd come before, just before he'd heard about divorce proceedings. He'd said to me, I'm getting a divorce.
This anthropologist claims that, now get this, you can work magic with candles, even bring in extra money by moving them around, using the right ceremony. Male witch, Dr. Raymond Buckland.
Green is the color for money. So to draw money to this particular person, we go through a ritual whereby the green candle is one side of the altar, the yellow for attraction, and the astral candle is that side. And over a period of time, during the ritual each night for several nights, the green candle is gradually advanced to the white candle representing the person. It's attracted to him until eventually they meet. And at that point, the ritual would be completed. The money has been attracted to the person. And the next morning, hopefully, in the mail, you get a check which you didn't expect. Of course, this form of sympathetic magic could be used for evil as well as for good. And if you were, say, a black magician rather than the white magician, you could bring evil to bear on a person by taking a candle to represent them, perhaps having it in the center, surrounding it with black candles, gray candles, candles of ill will, and to a certain ritual, move them in towards the person, surrounding them, closing in on them.
Young people will never be afraid of witchcraft, but older people and fundamentalists see witchcraft as a challenge, as a destructive weapon towards the sacred cows, which they believe in so much. In the year 3000, I know I'll be back again taking an interest in things, but you know what? Even if you don't believe in reincarnation, you'll be there too.
Certainly there are people with heightened intuition, heightened perceptivity, qualities of knowledge and of certain talents of reading other people which might appear psychic. But true psychic phenomena, the extrasensory perception, levitation, astral projection, is unprovable. I believe that the occult is a medieval field. It's an area that gained its prominence. Astrology did, witchcraft in the Middle Ages, and its regression. I approve of a certain amount of nostalgia, especially for the 1920s, but this is too much. Going back to the 1330s is quite different than going back to the 1930s.
You are jealous.
Is there an X factor, a sixth sense that will pull it all together? If there is, why haven't we found it in over 200 years of scientific investigation?